Good afternoon, it's Robert Scribbler here at Jeanette's Pier with the OVX wave report, and waves are coming in here about 7 feet. As you can see, winds out of the southeast at about 18 knots, which translates to a low 20-mile-per-hour range. I'm going to go out on the pier and give you guys some observations, but I thought this would be a pretty good assessment of conditions here, considering that Jeanette's Pier gives you guys various readings direct from this ocean observation station sponsored by the North Carolina Aquarium and the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, helping to defend our coastlines here. I'm going to go ahead and let them run through the wind speed and direction across the region and give you guys some observations from different locations. Of course, winds are expected to pick up here across the Outer Banks as a coastal storm runs through the region through today. And we'll get some observations for you guys off from the pier. Waves are definitely picking up, and it's actually starting to rain as well. Let me see if I can actually get outside here. We got some relatively stiff wind coming in, so I'm going to try and find a sheltered location to film from. Probably going to try and get behind one of these pillars here. So we're at the top of the pier and looking southeast. We got some birds flying overhead and raindrops coming in, blown pretty stiffly on that southeast wind here, and you can see the waves breaking out here on the point break. The observations from the pier were that waves were about 7 feet, and looking down on the waves, it doesn't look like they're quite that big, but looks can be deceiving as you get some height. It tends to like flatten the waves in your perspective. So when you're right there on the surface, it can, it'll look quite a lot bigger, but definitely getting a bit choppier out here with some stronger conditions coming in. We got waves and waves and wind and rain just smacking me right in the face here. And I'm going to look south. You can see this thick bank of cloud and buildings disappearing in the rainfall to the south there. There's another pier about a couple miles down the beach, and you can barely see it through the rain. Turning the camera to the west, you can also see the rain beginning to blanket Nag's Head and the causeway here to the west. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera so we can get some more observations. The waves pounding beneath Jeanette's Pier. We're about in the low tide range at this time. High tide today is expected to bring water about 4 feet above mean sea level, and to the west of the pier here, we get a shot of the beach. The beach replenishment crew has dumped a lot of sand just in front of the dunes and the bathhouse. So attempt to keep the beaches shored up for the stiff weather conditions that we're expected to see across the Outer Banks, both over the coming days and also running through the wintertime, as we're expecting to see more coastal lows form, and we typically get at least a couple of nor'easters here in the Outer Banks over the course of the wintertime. But this particular coastal low is expected to bring some gale force conditions across the Outer Banks today, and then join up with a powerful low pressure system tonight and into tomorrow that is going to bomb out over the Great Lakes region and become a very powerful storm for the Northeast and for the Great Lakes region and for some sections of the Mid-Atlantic and the Ohio River Valley. And this system is just going to get sucked up into it. But we do have some interesting weather conditions here, along with some crows flapping around me as I get the observations off the pier here. And we've got some nice surf running in here, very choppy with the winds coming in off the southeast. and this surf is likely to build throughout the day as storm conditions strengthen. So thank you for joining me for another edition, another supplemental edition of the OBX Wave Report as storm conditions begin to blanket the Outer Banks on Thursday, December the 22nd. And please remember to help support all those who are working to make coastal defense a reality, a coastal defense from climate change, including the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, which is one of the major sponsors of Jeanette's Pier here on the Outer Banks.